So, okay, so you once said you were interested in the coding, and that may have just you been being nice, but I've been working on it today, and I don't know if you noticed, but there is this little rubber ducky on my computer today. And debugging and coding rubber ducky it refers to when you get stuck on something, stuck on debugging, and you can't figure it out, and then if you explain it to someone that doesn't, even if it's someone who doesn't understand what you're working on, it actually might get you unstuck. So here's the JavaScript 30 for 30 I was doing today. So I'm taking the files from this project, putting them into my code files. And this kind of like, it's like funny that I was working on this one today because it kind of had to do with what we have been doing with the dolls and the cats. So here I'm going to open this HTML file in my terminal. Actually, I'm going to open it in a Finder. Can I do, yeah. So this is just the basic HTML. Like nothing is going to work. It's just like the basic HTML. In the basic HTML, you'll see this head stuff has to do with sort of the behind the scenes. This body has to do like what's seen on the page. And these little tags, like when you start something with this little arrow here and then end it like with an arrow, that's like starting a paragraph or starting an input or starting a label, like starting a button, so you, like a div, whatever, you start it and then you end it. And when you end it, you have to start it with an arrow and a backslash. But so an input allows the user to input information. So for instance, like this input here, that's like a text area. See, so there's an input and a text area. So if you look at this is what's showing on the page. If you duplicate this line of code, and save it obviously, and then refresh it. Now you have two of these input text areas. And so if you can see in here, it says, it's got name, type, range, but the important thing is, like, we've made it so that the input value is going to be text, and it's going to automatically say, hello, I love JavaScript. Okay, so I guess best as I can try to explain it, like our first group project was like week 3 or week 4. We did do stuff with APIs, which is like, there's all these companies that release APIs. Facebook has an API, Spotify has an API, Twitter has an API. And they, a lot of these companies release these things called APIs, and it's a way to like get information from those people's apps and interfaces and create an app in which you can use their information. So you can kind of create your own sort of Twitter app that shows like the last 5 tweets that somebody has used, because Twitter has released an API that if you send a request for the information of the last 5 tweets of a certain person's, Twitter ID, it will send you back that code or that information. So this code is using this like speech API to interact with. So it's called, I guess, well, yeah, so the speech synthesis utterance interface of the web, so this is the web speech API, in which like you send them information and they send you back information, and that's how you can interpret the different information, like different code or text that somebody's writing in, if it's said in French or said in a higher tone. Like you send them So in this code, we've basically written here const const is declaring a variable, which means I'm just saying if I declare const cat, like const cat equals echo, that means like every time I write cat, the value will be echo. Here I'm saying I'm declaring MSG. I'm saying MSG message is equal to a new speech synthesis is utterance function, which is what these parentheses are here. So I'm declaring this variable MSG, which is a message, and I'm creating a new function with their code speech synthesis is utterance, like right here. So that's what this code is here. These consts are ready, but so I've declared this variable MSG. So now I'm saying that function dot text, so the information that's put into the text area input value, equals document dot query selector, which is a JavaScript tool for taking the information. Just say I'm telling it to do something with the information that I'm selecting. So I'm saying the name is equal to text. Yeah. I've already got, oh, okay, so I've got to go there, and then there, and there, there. And then I assign the value and save that. So then I go back here. Actually, do I have to reopen it up? Okay. Finder. So when you're coding, there's this thing, Option Command I, which brings up this console log. So I typed in MSG, which is, I told you that like variable I declared. So I declared it to be this speech is synthesis utterance. It's got all these values that are like all coming back as null because I have not assigned them. But you'll see that it says text, hello, I love JavaScript. I'm gonna say, so the same thing as this like speech. This speech synthesis is utterance syntax of the API. There's another one just called speech how do I spell this? Synthesis. Then I'm gonna add an event listener. And then I'm gonna call that event listener voices change, and then I'm gonna ask it to call a function called populate voices. But I have no function called populate voices because I haven't written it yet. So now I have to write that function. Function populate voices. Shit. And then I'm going to declare a variable called voices. I mean, I've already declared it up here, let voices. So I'm going to call on that variable voices and then give it a value of this dot get voices. So now this usually means like if you're putting input in, like a drop down menu or whatever's happening in that function, this will be the thing that's picked. And then console log is actually just something people do to check their code in their console. So if you want to just check what's happening when you click on things with voices, you can console log it and then check your console log just to see how your code is working. Of course, then you save it. Come here. Refresh. Speech synthesis at event listener is not a function. Yeah. Speech. Okay. Uncut type error. Line 49. Speech synthesis dot add event listener. Look at the code. Oh, see, 2 E's. There we go. See, just 2 E's just broke the whole code. Okay, so now I'm getting all these. Now I'm console logging voices, which voices is this empty array that I'm now giving a value to here. And then this is the console log. So if I can get rid of the console log and bring the console log back. Bring back the console log. That helps you debug and figure out like how your code's working. Save it. Okay. This array I've created, let voices equal an array. I'm gonna make it a drop down. I'm going to fill that drop down with inner HTML, which means I'm filling the drop down with this new variable I've created, this voices options here. So I've created this new variable. I'm asking now the drop down to be populated with that. See if that works. It has to be a camel case voices drop down. Okay. Still have an error. Voice options is not defined. Const voices option, voice options. Voices option versus voice options. Voice options. Voice options. Okay. So now there's our drop down. So that code before there was no drop downs, now it's pulling up all these drop downs. Wow.
Over until it finds.
So now the HTML is like not totally matching. You know, like I can write in here like Brian is my jam. But if I just declare that, if I just call that function speech synthesis dot speak. Speech synthesis dot speak.
Hello. I love JavaScript. Thumbs up.
So even if I write in here, Brian is my jam. Why do I keep writing jam? You know, still down here it's going to say.
Hello. I love JavaScript. Thumbs up.
Now if in this code I change the text to Brian is my jam, and then and then call that function.
Brian is my jam.
It changes. So it's not totally in the code yet that's applying to the HTML, but it's in the code. Like so, like, you know, if I write in here, Aaron has the best, not the beast, the best boobs ever? No, has the best boobs ever. It's still gonna say Brian is my jam.
Brian is my jam.
But then if I code it in to say message text equals Aaron seriously has the best boobs ever. Seriously. And then call that.
Aaron seriously has the best boobs ever. Seriously.
Okay. So you can see in your console log like how the code's working, even though it's not totally functioning here. It's in a unit, but even if I change it to Anna and then still call that
Aaron
function,
seriously has the
it's
best
still
boobs
going to
ever.
be Alex voice.
Seriously.
So what I need to do is then create a way that the voices drop down menu will identify what I'm picking, which is add an event listener. So voices drop down.
Hello. I love JavaScript. Thumbs up.
Hello, I love JavaScript, tummen upp.
So now, because we have made this function that's setting the voice to the voice that they've picked on the drop-down menu. So if they pick, I don't know what these are, because it's set within the API, Samantha US.
Hello, I love JavaScript, thumbs up.
Right.
Hello, I love JavaScript, поднятый большой палец.
Yuri, that must be Russian. So message dot text equals Brian is my jam.
Brian is my jam. Trump likes Aaron's books. Trump would stormy up Aaron's motorboat.
Okay. Options for each, which is a JavaScript function. Because that's written into the code. So for each option, I'm going to add an event listener, option dot event listener on change. So anytime there is a change, I want it to call a function called set option. So I've just now written a line of code. Uh-oh. What the fuck did I just do there? I've written a line of code that says anytime that one of my three options, I'm adding an event listener to the three options, which the three options are the rate, pitch, and message. Like anytime one of those is changed, so I'm adding an event listener. If there's a change, call this function, called set option, which I have to write up here. I started here. So now the actual value of the text. So message this dot name is equal to, sorry, I'm cheating here, this dot value. So if you look on our console log, this dot name is text, this dot value is Brian is my jam. So I'm saying this dot name text is equal to this dot name Brian is my jam. Now let's see.
Hello. I love JavaScript. Thumbs up. Brian is my jam.
So now I don't have to write message dot text is equal to Aaron, Aaron go bra list in my console log. Now I've set the code up to take it from the website.
Aaron go braless.
So now if I do
Aaron go braless.
so now it reads what's in the website. So now I have to add an event listener for my button. If I look at my HTML, my button ID is called speak. Okay, so down in my JavaScript, I have to say speak button dot add event listener, and then instead of on change, I want it to be on click. And when it clicks, I want it to run the toggle function I already wrote. Let's see if that works. Any errors? Oh yeah. Add event listener. Add event listener is not a function. Yeah, that's because I spelled it wrong. You could spend 4 hours trying to find that E if you wanted to. So now, when you click on it.
Hello. I love JavaScript. Thumbs up.
So now that
Hello,
works.
I love JavaScript. Jempol ke atas. Brian is my jam.
Brian is my jam. Brian is my jam. Ants are like boobs. Ants are like boobs.
I like boob. I like boob. Ants are like boobs. Ants are like boobs. I have a third nipple. I have a third nipple. I have a third nipple.
I have a third nipple.
I have a third nipple. I have a third nipple. I have a third nipple. Anti-amerikai showsex anti-amzo-sexy.
Andy, I am so sexy, yeah.
And I am so sexy, yeah. And I am so sexy. And I am so sexy, yeah. And I am so.
And I am so sexy. Your dad is dead. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Your dad is dead. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Your dad is dead. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Yoda is dead. Badialash, dialash, 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 dialash.
Anyway, so that's kind of the basics.